anything that is not done out of the sheer joy and excitement of doing it is not worth your attention, is not worth your energy anymore. So that means if it doesn't really excite you and it doesn't put you in a good headspace and attitude, then it's time to let it go and remove it from your awareness, remove it from your attention, remove it from your conscious focus, whatever it may be, no matter what it is. It's no matter how obligated you feel to have that in your life, to have that, whatever it is that you is giving you a lesser feeling of joy and a lesser feeling of aliveness, no matter what it is, it's time to get rid of it. It's time to be transparent and to be honest with yourself and others that what is going on in your life is no longer serving you, that what is going on in your life and what you are experiencing at this present time is no longer going to sustain you in your new life, in your new choice to be free, to be happy, to be unconditional with yourself. And from here, it is where we can establish a connection to our own divinity, our own infinity, our own eternal nature that is goes beyond this physical body, this time and space that we are portioned off into, because this portion that we are is the portion of the collective consciousness that we chose to hold on to. Is this portion is the portion of who you are, the portion of your personality, the portion of your genetics, your nationality, where you're from, your background, whatever, is the portion that you agreed to embody to and incarnate so that you could make it light. Your whole life purpose is to take this portion that you are evidently embodying and take it from darkness into light. And however that feels and whatever that looks for you is your own answer. There's no one way. There's only the way that you see fit, because you are the one that sees life, and no one else sees life the way you see it. No one else can perceive it and experience the life that you are living. It's not possible in this third density Earth. It is, however, possible in fourth density, and that is why we have to lighten the load, because our light quotient of our bodies are increasing, and the material denseness of darkness is decreasing, and this darkness is unconscious. This darkness is compartmentalized, segmented, and cloistered versions of ourselves that we are hiding, that we are scared of, that we are fearful of. So that's why it's so important to be as transparent and honest with yourself as possible, first and foremost. And then when you have the knowing and you have the belief that what you are and what you choose is the highest good for you and others in the long run, then you can start to talk about it and start to explain yourself and articulate yourself in much more detailed ways. And that is when you are truly of service, is when you've gone through that test or that trial and gone through the actual experience of trusting and having faith and loving yourself so that you can teach others how to do that. And in the fourth density, your portion of the collective consciousness is much more potentiated, and it has a higher degree of capacity for awareness, capacity for consciousness. So your ability to accelerate and experience a heightened state of awareness, as well as having a feeling of and having the perception of things coming to you at a quicker rate. You are truly living in that higher vibration, because in third density you are waiting. You are not always conscious of what you're thinking. You are not always conscious of what is going on in your environment. And in fourth density, there's a heightened perception, there's a heightened level of awareness and conscience of what is you're thinking, what it is that you are identifying as thinking, because you are not thoughts. You are the vibration that transcends all thoughts and physical matter. So the thoughts that you are thinking are not actually yours, but depending on your choice and your own free will, you choose what thoughts you latch onto and that which ones attach onto you. So with this choice, you are able to take on a new role of creating space in your life for you to dissociate and disidentify from what your previous choices have brought to you, which is the circumstances, which is your life up into this current moment. And creating space from that in the present moment allows you to be neutral and to have just enough conscious awareness to choose something that is of the highest and optimal good for you, to choose something that is of highest and optimal service for others. And this may not come to you first as something that is very obvious, because what you think is good for others is not good for you, or what you think is good for you is not others. And this duality and this logical fallacy that you are separate from the other is the whole root of that is debilitating the human mind and the human species, because it is not that. It is not this or that. It is not that or this. It's this and that. So what is good for you is good for others. And what is good for the total collective and the portion that you chose, that you accepted in this life, is good for the entirety of the collective. That the portion that you are, that is seemingly separate from everyone else, is just compartmentalized for the purpose of us to experience and have our own ability to work through the lessons and work through the things that we needed to learn in third density and below. And now we're at this time where the information is there and the intelligence is all there for us, and it's just a matter of us choosing that. It's just a matter of us aligning with that resonance and that state of vibratory frequency that is most in line with our own innate joy, love, wisdom, peace, unity, balance with all that is. So what it is that we are choosing to live in each moment is your frequency. And the frequency that you are resonating at right this moment is your future, it is your past. It is everything. The present is the only thing that exists. It is the only thing that ever will exist. And the more you vibrate from a state of being that is joyful, blissful, unconditionally loving, just completely joyous and ecstatic to be here and be alive, the more that you resonate on that, the more that you will see your past experiences in that same vibration, and the more you will see your future experiences in that same vibration. So do whatever it is that takes, whatever it takes, do whatever it takes for you to feel aligned with your joy. And it could be anything. It could be taking yourself out to eat. It could be taking yourself to the movies. It could be taking yourself just one step at a time. Check in with yourself and see what is the best choice for you to do now. Like, what is going to give you the most sense of serenity, peace, fulfillment, and connection to yourself, to the eternal, to the spirit that you are, to the God essence that we all are, because we are not separate. We are all one. That is the law, that is the habit of our universe, is that we are all vibration. We are all different vibrations, and they are all equally valid. So nothing is good or bad. It is just our perception, and that good or bad is the state of frequency, state of our being that we interpret. And if we take a neutral approach to our life and to what it is that we most enjoy and what it is that brings us down, if we take a neutral approach to that, then we can choose from that neutral place what it is we want to experience. So that's the importance and the real value in being able to have a space in between what it is that you want to be and what it is you are now and what it is you have been. This is all one. It's seemingly different, right? Because you experience the past and the future in your mind, but it is all a part of your own resonance right now. So that is the most important thing, is to neutralize your own and create space in between that feeling of depression or anxiety or fear of loss or grief or whatever it is. Make a 2 to 5 seconds of a make that being able to clear your thoughts, any oncoming thoughts, clear it for 2 to 5 seconds, and that will be long enough for you to choose something that feels good, for you to imagine something in your mind, what it is that is going to bring you the best sense of presence or peace and connection to the one infinite and to the eternal self now. And what you think of is going to trigger an emotion, is going to trigger a feeling, and all the emotion is there to do is to tell you, as a multidimensional being, as a multidimensional facet of and portion of the one infinite, what the emotion is there to tell you, which is the infinite, is to communicate how correct your thinking is to communicate how in alignment with your own sense of purpose, your own sense of belonging, your own sense of joy, your own sense of love, your own sense of wisdom, your own sense of knowing, your own sense of pleasure, your own sense of peace, your own sense of beauty, your own sense of joyous, blissful love. So let's connect there. Let's connect into that, what it is that you can imagine, and then what can you do now? What can you do now to actually externalize that joy and to like move that energy and to apply it? Because if it's all in here, then you're not applying it. You are definitely, doing something with your experience, but you can't really do much work because you are so identified with the physical body in third density. So the more that we transition to fourth density, the less identified we become, and the more identified with our thoughts we become. So if you are at this point where you can't really control your thoughts, then that is fine. That is okay. And it's important for you now to create that 2 to 5 second window of neutrality, of no thoughts, because that place of no thoughts is just as valid and just as real as thoughts. So that place of no descriptions, that place of just beingness, of emptiness, of presence is just as valid as all other descriptions of very elaborate details and thoughts. They're both just as valid as each other, and they both serve a purpose, and they both are honorable and cherished in the eyes of the one infinite creator, and they are not partial. The one infinite is not partial to either. It is just simply a choice of your own to choose which one you want to experience in whatever moment you want. So choosing to take a moment and take 2 to 5 seconds for you to create a gap and create a place for you to expand upon. Because if your thoughts are so compressed together and you don't have any space in between them, then you can't make enough room for you to make something that is valuable, something that is more in alignment, something that is more true, that is truer to your own love, your own sense of love, and your own sense of joy and happiness. So take a moment and realize that you are the one infinite, that you are the eternal, that you are the God essence, and nothing outside of you is going to have an effect on this eternal, because it is also eternal, and your eternalness is unaffected by what is temporary. What is temporary cannot permeate, cannot ultimately be what is eternal, and that's what you are. You are eternal. Everything else that is not you, that is not the one infinite, is temporary, and that is just as valid. The temperance and the temporal realm of thoughts and matter, time and space, are all just as valid as no time and no space, and they are both equal. They are both just as important to our experience as a human being, as a conscious creator, as a conscious portion of the one infinite, as a individual, as a expression of the God essence, of the love, of the light, of the unity that we all are. And your experience now of a separateness, a feeling that you are separateness, is only for your own choosing and your own agreement that you are wanted to experience that, and that you also feel a great joy in experiencing the things on earth that earth has to provide, that things that human life has to provide. There is great joy for that in you. There's great joy in feeling a sense of belonging. There's a great joy in feeling the desirable, having desires, wanting to do things and wanting to experience here on this planet is what you have incarnated to do. You are here to experience and to be a child and to be innocent and to love unconditionally all the things that come in your path and that you choose to have and that you choose to orient yourself with, because we all are choosing on a conscious, subconscious, or unconscious level our own experience. So the more conscious we become of our ability to choose and our ability to neutralize the thoughts that are negative and also heavy, the more that we tune into that frequency of neutrality, the more that we can choose something other than that heaviness, that burden, that responsibility, that detrimental and bad feeling that is clearly an indication and has been telling us all of our lives that that is not true. That is not us. We cannot really be efficient. I cannot be efficient when I'm feeling bad. I cannot feel connected to everyone and everything when I feel bad. So what is it? What is it that I can feel connected again? What is it can I feel unified in my own mind, body, and spirit with all other creation? What is it that I can do to feel more into what it is that excites me? What is it that I can do in this moment to become the ultimate version of myself in the only way that I can do so now? Because, we can't clearly go out and buy a Lamborghini and drive it around town right now, and you can still be absolutely joyful and peaceful without that ever happening to you. If you just choose to, if you just take the step that is right in front of you right now to go towards the joy and go towards that experience and that desire that is beckoning for you to be experienced. Going towards that right this moment, not even listening to the rest of this video, and going into that feeling and whatever it is that you are just know is going to make you feel better. Going and doing that, and then after that is finished or done, or maybe it's not even done. Maybe you haven't finished what excites you, and there's another thing that excites you and triggers your childlike essence and the essence that you are not ever dead, that you are not ever going to die, and feeling that you are a spirit and not actually physical, and that you are not actually a body, is going to help you step into that trust and faith of pursuing your authenticity of joy, your authenticity of true resonance of peace, your authenticity of true connection to all that is, all creation. So what can we do now? What can you do now that is going to set you on this path?